Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the land of imagination. It's your favorite author, Lisa Walker McCrae, back with another tantalizing story time from the pages of my novel, A Peculiar Kind of Love. Remember, you guys, these videos are for entertainment purposes only. First and foremost, big praise to the Most High Yah, and a blessing to you all who are still lending me your ears. For it says in Genesis 12:3, I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse those who curse you. So much love and appreciation to you all. With that being said, let's dive into those imaginations and turn some pages. Chauncey, set the stage. Okay, beautiful souls, quick recap to bring you guys up to speed. In our last story time, we were left hanging in the wind. Drew was on her way to see Marcus. At the same time, there was a bad storm raging. Now, Jay and Marcus could feel in the air that something wasn't right because Drew wasn't answering her phone. So let's dive into this story time and our imaginations to see what's happening with this village. We find Jay standing in front of some vending machine. His heart trembled with fear. The last time he was at Shiloh Regional, this scared, y'all had taken Chantel. He pushed the button on the machine. Nothing. It gave him nothing. Ugh, really? Jay yelped out. This was the second dollar he'd put in the machine and it still hadn't given him his chips. Come on, Jay kicked the machine. Dean noticed the altercation between man and machine, so she hurried over to assist. Hey baby, you good? She asked. Jay didn't say a word, but instead kicked the machine again. Dean could see he was taking his frustration and fears out on the vending machine, and she needed him to get a grip before they were all kicked out. Taking a dollar from her purse, Dean handed it to Jay. You really need to calm down. Here, take this, she offered and advised. Jay looked at the dollar, then at Dean. Cool out, he said in his head. I'm good, came out of his mouth. Jay walked off, leaving Dean holding on to her dollar in her feelings. For Dean, it was the way he said it. She was mortified. Oh, he just gonna walk off, she said to self. Dean put the dollar back in her purse. She wanted to scream. Yeah, Dean, he's doing a thing, as my daughter would say. Noticing Jay and Dean's interactions and the look of humiliation on her face, Marcus thought back to when Chantel died and how Drew rejected him. This was his cue for a little intervention. After getting a bag of chips from the same vending machine Jay felt the need to take his frustrations out on, Marcus tapped him on the shoulder. Here, bro, I thought you may want these. Thanks, bro, the damn machine's tripping. Marcus looked at him, then asked, so you're gonna take it out on Dean? He then went on to enlighten Jay. He saw how he handled Dean, and it wasn't cool. She only trying to be here for you, bro. Remember how I tried to be there for Drew when Chantel passed and she rejected me? Marcus went on to say Dean was probably feeling like him right about now. Throwing a chip into his mouth, Jay thought about how humiliated Marcus was and started to feel bad. Looking over at Dean, who was still standing by the vending machines, Jay gave Marcus some dap, then walked over to apologize. Marcus sat there for a minute, shaking, playing back the scene of Drew's accident, from him pulling up, getting out of the car, to the care flight taking off with her. Pulling himself from the tortured review, Marcus looked over at Sarge and could see the fear and hurt in his eyes. Out of all the people in the room, he thought for sure Sarge would be the strongest, but he was just as shaken by the fact Drew was fighting for her life beyond the double doors as everyone else. Lorraine tried her best to comfort him, but the tears wouldn't stop falling. Marcus then looked over at the Tates, his parents, Pete and Miss Sue, and they all seemed to have their own personal conversation with Yah going. At this point, he felt it was time for him to do the same. Marcus left the group in search of a quiet place to pray. After his brief search, Marcus found himself sitting on a bench in front of a fountain outside the hospital. It seemed to be the only place he could be alone. Marcus inhaled the fresh air and exhaled his fear. He began to pray. What's up, y'all? First, I want to say thank you. I know if it hadn't been for you, I wouldn't be sitting here now. Yeah, I need you right now. Drew needs you right now. Man, we all do. Marcus shook his head and continued. Yeah, I need you to work on her behalf. I know we're not deserving, but our trust is in you. I ask for favor. Marcus paused his words. His thoughts were all over the place. He continued. Yeah, I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what to say, what to ask for. Usually I'm on top of my stuff, but right now I'm lost. A tear scrolled down Marcus's face. I can tell you all the stuff I'll do if you let Drew stay, and I can tell you all the things I'll never do to hurt her again, but I'm not. What I will ask is that you give me strength to accept your will, guidance to follow you, and allow me to be who you need me to be. Yeah, I love that woman up there fighting for her life. Now, I know I haven't always put her first, and I know I don't deserve her as my own. But if it's your will, Yah, please let her stay. Yah, please don't take her from me. Yah, my trust is in you. Give the doctors and the nurses the wisdom and knowledge they need to help her. I ask you. Marcus's words were paused. He could no longer hold it together. Before he knew it, he was head down, crying his eyes out. Marcus didn't care who saw him. He needed this breakdown. From the last 3 years he spent in prison, losing Drew, and now the situation at hand, he needed this cleanse. Marcus was outdone and overdue for a good cry. My boy, a good cry would definitely do it. Anywho, after returning from his prayer, Marcus could see much hadn't changed. Everyone seemed to be in their own world in space. He guessed that everyone was still trying to process the tragedy. Noticing Sarge standing by the vending machine, Marcus walked over to ensure he was in a good place. "What's up, Sarge? You good?" Marcus asked, reaching out to touch his shoulder for a bit of touch therapy. Sarge shook his head, informing Marcus he wasn't okay and everything going on was tearing him up. "I haven't had enough time. Marcus stopped Sarge, encouraging that he would have more time and not to think like that. Sarge replied what he didn't know because it wasn't looking too good. Marcus didn't care too much for Sarge's lack of trust in Yah or the pity party he was throwing for himself. He spoke. "Look, Sarge, I know you don't get the whole Israelites' way of life, and that's understandable, but you serve the same God I serve. He watches over those who put their trust in him, and I know for sure Drew puts all her trust in Yah. She has since she was a kid. Psalms 91 has always been her favorite, and when I think about the passage, I know Yah's going to take care of her. Drew wholeheartedly trusts what it says, and you should too." Sarge eyed Marcus. The words he just spoken ruffled his heart. He remembered a time he believed just like that, and for the first time in a long time, his heart was beginning to humble before Yah once again. Thinking back on all the obstacles Drew had faced since he'd been active in her life, and the ones before, it was nothing short of a miracle she was still standing strong. And Marcus's words confirmed it was Yah who'd kept her. Sarge cleared his throat, then spoke. "Thanks, young buck. I needed those words. If Drew can have that much trust in God with all that she's been through, why can't I?" "Already," Marcus replied, giving Sarge some dap. The double doors opened. A doctor emerged, asking for the family of Drew McCain. Everyone stood at attention, waiting to hear good news. The group was informed Drew had to be put in a coma state because of the bleeding on her brain, and she would have to remain that way until it stopped. The doctor also informed she had spinal trauma that could cause paralyzation if the swelling didn't go down. He also added she had a broken leg. The doctor looked out at the hopeful group, shaking his head in disbelief. He spoke. Miss McCain is beyond blessed to still be here. I've seen accidents like this before, and let's just say she's blessed. The impact alone should have. The doctor nodded his head in agreement with self from the words he couldn't get out. The small group was grateful because they understood his emotions. After the update, everyone flooded him with questions. Marcus advised everyone to calm down and allow the good doctor to answer. By the time they all questioned him, it was the same thing he already explained. The day passed, and so did a few weeks. Jay walked into Drew's hospital room. Looking down at her hooked up to all the machines still hadn't gotten easier. Jay had been there every day since her accident, and walking through the doors was a challenge each time. He'd sit down in the chair next to Drew's bed, eyeing the monitors. He looked at all the flowers, cards, and the pictures Gabe had drawn. "Toda ya for saving my friend," Jay whispered, looking down at Drew. A single tear fell from his eyes as he began an inner praise. Jay was so involved in his praise, he didn't know Drew had sat up in the bed. She leaned over towards Jay. Placing a finger in the middle of his forehead, she spoke. "Imagine this is a dime, and I just ask you for the thoughts on your mind." The sound of Drew's voice sent a jolt of energy through Jay's heart. "Drew," he yelped out in shock. "What are you doing? Lay down." Jay hurried to jump up and lay Drew back on her pillow. He then used the bed controller to raise her head. He was shocked Drew was alert. So many emotions rushed through his heart. "Thanks, Jay. You're my hero," Drew chuckled. Jay immediately started to apologize for being mad at her for trying to protect her peace when it came to Marcus. "I'm so sorry, Drew. How could I be so deliberately obtuse when it came to your feelings?" Jay was now shaking his head with disappointment. "Wow, just jump right in there," Drew laughed out. Jay told her that he was a complete whole about the whole Marcus situation, and he asked Ya if he'd let her stay. Apologize would be the first thing he did. "Yeah, you were a complete a-hole, and I didn't like you," Drew gave Jay a wink. Shaking his head in disbelief, Jay asked Drew what happened. She informed she still wasn't sure, that she went to call Marcus to cancel their meeting, and the next thing she knew, she was waking up there. Drew went on to say the doctors and nurses came in about an hour ago when she woke up, checked her vitals and told her she had been in an accident, rechecked her vitals and left. They told me they would be back to run some more tests, but that was over an hour ago. I guess they're taking their time about it, huh? You know how shallow regional is, Drew chuckled. The tears fell from Jay's eyes uncontrollably as he held Drew in an intense embrace. He hugged her so tight Drew could hardly breathe. "Toda ya, he allowed you to stay with us. Toda ya." Drew indulged in the embrace, but she was slightly confused about Jay's emotions. Why was he so emotional, she asked herself, and why is he holding me so tight? "Jay, I'm fine. Calm down. You act like I died and came back." Releasing Drew from their embrace, Jay asked, "You really don't know? You don't remember what happened?" Drew was like, "No, I don't know. Tell me what happened." "You almost died, Drew." "What do you mean almost died?" Drew asked, confused from the words coming from Jay's mouth. Jay looked at her with amazement. He went on to tell her she hit a light pole, flipped 3 times, broke 3 bones in her leg, and flatlined 3 times before they got her there. You had to be put in a coma because of the bleeding on your brain, and you could have even been paralyzed. Drew's face held a look of surprise, shock, and amazement. "How long have I been here, Jay?" she asked. He told her 3 weeks today. Drew was psyched. She told Jay, "Are you serious? Because other than this cask and a little fatigue, I feel just fine." Jay shook his head in disbelief. He was looking at a living miracle. He went on to tell Drew the whole ordeal was unbelievable, that the entire family had been there around the clock. "Yeah, we all been here. Me, Mama, Daddy, Carl, Dean, and even Marcus. Gabe drew you all these pictures. Mama and Dean loaded you with flowers, and everybody else kind of hung around to make sure you were comfortable." With tears rolling down her face, Drew looked up to the heavens, and the biggest smile graced her face. She spoke. "Miracles and blessings, Toda Yah. For those who go to Yah for safety will be protected by Yah All-Powerful. I will say to Yah, you are my place of safety and protection. You are my God, and in you I put my trust." Psalms 91. Drew then looked over at Jay, handing him the biggest smile. Well, there y'all have it. Always put your trust in the Most High. His words do not come back void. Miracles and blessings, people. Thank you all so much for joining me in this story time. I pray you all get the opportunity to experience Yah's love and devotion if you already haven't. If so, cherish it and be grateful, for Yah will always favor those who put their trust in Him. Yah bless this reading and yourselves. Smooches.